Well, we've had some great fun here today with our jurors. There have been some tremendous projects that we put on the table here. It's very interesting to sort of see a range of projects that are actually tabled, so you don't necessarily go and visit, but you really sort of see into the eyes of the different projects, and the typologies are very, very far-reaching in terms of their range. I mean, it's also very interesting to see the sort of the international nature of some of the projects, and as such, those that have sort of shone out as stars to us, as we've been discussing, really do need to sort of stretch over the boundaries of kind of the international boundaries, and really sort of push forward in terms of their typologies and how they're sort of stretching the client's brief. Within our shortlist particularly, I think there are some very merit-worthy projects for sure. I mean, one of which is a sort of residential project on a very small scale for obviously a one-off client, where there is a really lovely existing building where they placed a car as centre stage. Internally, the environment is beautiful, almost austere. We felt that it would have been nice to have a little bit more of the texture of the existing environment sort of creeping through into a very, very sort of beautiful black and white environment, but certainly a very interesting project. Some of the other projects are sort of probably more on the office scale in terms of the numbers of people that might be involved in them. They really are sort of cities within a city, and certainly the sort of ANZ Centre, which has 6,500 people sort of calling the environment home, is really quite grand. The idea of creating an office environment for that number of people that still has a sense of grandeur but also intimacy, I think is tremendous. And we particularly liked the really rather grand atrium that has a sort of public level at ground floor, which really draws people into the space. But then as you look over the open atrium, you can see pockets of intimate, sort of beautiful desking that somehow, and furniture that still sort of glows somehow within that overall cathedral space. And we felt that you actually wanted to go and sit in some of those spaces, which is quite something when you've got 6,500 people calling that space their home. I think on another level, we quite like the sort of funness of there was a project in Thailand where they really were trying to sort of change the funness of office, which included sort of a racing track and somewhere to do Tai Chi within the office environment, as well as a rather beautiful bar that was quite simple and straightforward, but definitely sort of pushing the boundaries, perhaps with more freedom than some of the Western countries where still office does mean desking and meeting rooms for sure. But within our range of projects that we looked at, there was also sort of some intimate projects in terms of product design. So there's one a very beautiful drawing a line chair, which created both a beautiful graphic, a beautiful idea, and rather an elegant sort of piece of furniture. And one of the things I felt when I saw it was I'd like to go and sit on it to see how comfortable it was, which was probably quite a good, enticing response, really. Through the sort of 2D images, you wanted to actually feel the 3D object. But through some of the other examples, I think one of my other favourites that happened to be a particular personal favourite was was in Amsterdam. There was a children's hospital, and certainly this one caused a degree of conflict and discussion because it was quite a pure white space with some rather beautiful, elegant graphics within it, but it was very light and bright, and certainly having had very recently Asane Hospital, in fact last Friday, I very much took my designer glasses off and was very cognizant of what it is that helps a little 4-year-old walk into an hospital environment and feel more normal about the situation. And I felt that solution really did push the boundaries of creating a space that you'd actually feel a bit more joyful in. I think, goodness me, don't our hospitals and our healthcare environments need more of that? I think then out of all of these wonderful varied typologies that are certainly stretching the world as well as typologies, one of our very favourites really was unanimous, was the hotel in Shanghai. and we felt that this was the project that got us most animated, because within the scale of Shanghai, with its obviously tremendous sort of commercial development in terms of high-rise and the brave new world of the Chinese economy, there was a little piece of the ring-fenced old Shanghai in the diplomatic quarter, which retained a hotel that really did literally keep the texture of China's sort of history alive, but made it the most wonderful boutique hotel that I think all the judges felt that they would really like to stay in.